Welcome back. All right, so starting things off today with an entertainment guy video. And, we came home last night after watching Superman. We enjoyed the movie. I definitely enjoyed it more than my wife did. Somebody asked too what my wife's kind of movies would be. Uh, More along the dramatic side, but like for movies, if it's a Tim Burton movie, she probably likes it a lot. Um, yeah, I mean, we have different tastes in movies, but they line up enough that we enjoy enough movies together that it works. But I always find this very highly entertaining, so I want to talk about this bit. So, with movies especially, I find that people get really offended when I like or don't like a movie. Where I'm like, I didn't really enjoy this. Well, then you watched it wrong. Okay, or I enjoyed this and you watched it wrong. The one that got me was the Barbie movie when it came out. I saw that in the theater 3 times. I absolutely loved the Barbie movie. I thought it was great. It was a lot of fun. And the internet tries to tell me why they don't like it, which is fine, which is absolutely fine. I did check this morning. The Superman movie still has a 93% amongst audience on Rotten Tomatoes. I know that's not a necessarily 100% accurate thing, but I think most people that I was with in that theater last night enjoyed it. I didn't see anybody leave before it was done, which is usually an indication of people not liking movies when you see a couple of walkouts. I didn't see any of that. I did see people leaving right as soon as the credits started and before the lights had come up at all. But, I mean, the mid credits and closing credit scenes don't really make a difference to the movie. So, we left before the second scene. We just made sure it wasn't going to have any effect on anything else going forward. So the thing that's funny is that even after the internet tries to tell me why I didn't like something, I still enjoyed it. It does not make it. In fact, if anything, I'm more likely to dig in on the subject when some of the comments I see are going on, and then the internet will decide I'm invalid in my enjoyment, which I find weird. Like if I'm listening to a song, and I'm like, you know what, I like this song, and somebody's response is, I don't think that I don't think that you. It's not that they don't. That it kind of broke my brain on this one. It's almost like if I enjoy something that they don't, that then my opinion becomes invalid, which is so bizarre to me. And I deal with that with list videos on the Hockey Channel too, where I personally prefer one player over another. I prefer one team over another. And there will be those discussions that are had about, well, I guess Shannon doesn't know what he's talking about because I like something more than another. And it doesn't make a difference. Notice I put down, I still enjoyed this. It doesn't matter what it is. Music, yeah, I still enjoy music that, I mean, my wife and I have different tastes in music. They line up a lot, so we can go to a bunch of concerts together, but there are definitely times they diverge greatly. TV shows, there are TV shows where we diverge, but it's not like I would say, well, I don't respect her opinion because she enjoys a TV show. I don't, or vice versa. She's not going to lose any respect for me because I enjoy a TV show. She doesn't. It's just, I find that such a bizarre thing to decide that because someone enjoys something, that means that automatically they're, I don't know, bad person or they don't have any taste, which is just odd to me. The only time I would think of was when boy bands became a thing, and I was like, I don't know how anybody thinks this is good music, but that was my opinion. And I definitely still knew people and talked to people and was friends with people who liked the boy band's music. I didn't understand why. I might debate it with them, but I certainly didn't tell them that they were wrong to enjoy something. That's the weird thing, and it's definitely an argument I've had in real life too. Concerts, we've had concerts we've enjoyed or not enjoyed. This can go the other way too. This can be, I did not enjoy this movie. I did not enjoy this TV show. And I think one of my favorite things the internet will do is they will decide that if I didn't like a show, like I didn't enjoy Game of Thrones. I thought I really didn't like it. I thought it was vastly overrated. And I found it boring a lot of the time. I thought it was pretentious. But there's a lot of people who really enjoyed it. And I don't have any problem that people really enjoyed it. I didn't. The only season of Game of Thrones I watched was the last one because I knew people were going to rage about it. So I would watch things happen and go, oh, people are going to hate that. and laugh about it and say I'm really glad I didn't invest myself in the show because I'd be enraged right now if I'd invested myself in the show and that's how things ended. So that's just, and again, it's a difference. I think a Big Lebowski. Yeah, like that's your opinion, man. Um, and then games, and this could be video games too, where there's video games I haven't necessarily enjoyed playing. People are like, are you crazy? Or I think my favorite one is when I'll say, well, I didn't enjoy this game, and if it's open world or if it's first person shooter or something, they'll then start with like, well, what setup do you have? And what were you using? What were you doing in this part? Actually, I think you'll enjoy it more if you go back and start over and do this and this, and I'm like, I don't want to play it. I don't, nah. If I have to follow a certain set of guidelines to enjoy the game, because if you don't, you're not going to enjoy it. I don't care. I'm not doing it all over again. And jerseys and jerseys have to be on the board because I'm going to be ranking jerseys, and there's going to be people who are angry about where I have my favorite part too is where people will decide that I dislike a jersey that their team wore because I don't like that team, which is so weird. It is so weird because teams I root for have had legitimately ugly jerseys that I've said, really, you guys went with that? Why? And I've praised jerseys of teams I don't like because it's just a shirt. It's just a shirt. That's it. It's like the whole, well, they're sweaters, not jerseys. No, I've got sweaters, and I call them sweaters. And I've got jerseys, and I call them jerseys. They are different, in my opinion, because it's an opinion. It's just, that's all it is. Because they're shirts. They're shirts made the same as everything. Like, when you get past it, you realize we're buying very expensive long sleeved shirts. We call them jerseys. We justify the cost various ways, but they're very expensive shirts. And that's it. And we're basically saying we would like to pay to tell people that we are in support of this team and we're willing to pay hundreds of dollars to do it. So like it's just the whole thing is odd, the whole thing's strange. And food also. I've had times where I've been told that, well, if you didn't like this food or this restaurant, well, you ordered the wrong thing. See, what you have to do, if you really want to enjoy that, you have to order this from this menu. What time of day did you go? Yeah, don't go during that time of day. Go during this time of day because it's not as busy and the food will be better. Like, it's just, I can enjoy things or not enjoy things. You can enjoy things or not enjoy things. We're probably not going to enjoy the same things. I was very entertained by that movie last night. I thought it was great. I enjoyed it from start to finish. I thought it was a Superman movie, and that's what I wanted, was a Superman movie. I didn't want something serious because Superman is not serious. It is a man who flies around the earth, can fly to space in a matter of seconds, and just hang out in space for a while. He can do that. So I don't think it's that serious. I don't think it's that big a deal. And yeah, I think superhero movies in general, I think keeping them light makes a lot more sense because they are silly. They are kind of dorky and they're for kids. Ideally, comic books were for kids. Yes, we read them as adults, but we grew up reading them. So they are still a medium that's generally for kids. And I think designing a comic book movie so it stays PG rated so little kids can go see it makes a lot more sense than some of these PG-13 over-the-top violent. So you might be making the adults happy, but little kids aren't necessarily going to want to see it. They may not be allowed to see it, and so you're not creating that next generation of moviegoer that's going to want to go see a comic book movie. So there's that too. I think there's a lot of reasons to do it the way that James Gunn does things, but and that's what caused me to be here today in front of all you fine people to start off my day talking about how, yes, opinions are different, but all opinions, I think, are valid if it's your favorite. If your favorite movie ever is Better Off Dead, cool. If your favorite movie of all time is Night of the Comet, hey, I'm right there with you. Night of the Comet's one of the best movies I've ever seen. And I always thought The Godfather was boring. I said it. I just, and I know it's a well-made movie, and that's the thing. Sometimes movies are technically really well made, but I wouldn't watch them again. I'm not going to sit down and watch The Godfather again. I don't know that my wife's ever watched it, and I'm not going to sit down for 3 hours and watch it with her. She wants to watch it, great. I don't think she will. She didn't like Goodfellas. I know she won't like Casino. I love Goodfellas. I like Casino. I thought Casino was too long. I remember when I watched Casino, And I watched it with my friends, and at the end of it, we were like, Goodfellas is better. And then when everybody now is like, oh, Casino is this classic, great fantasy. Yeah, there's some really good scenes in Casino, but it kind of felt like Goodfellas, especially since there's such a crossover of the cast, and they're playing similar roles from one movie to the other. So it's just interesting to me because opinions on movies change. There are movies that were detested back in the day. I remember when Neverending Story came out, and there was a huge kerfuffle because that wasn't made for kids. That's way too scary for kids. That wolf and the whole the nothing and all that. That's too scary. Gremlins was a huge deal for how scary and gross that was when it came out, and these movies were just trashed. And now they're classics. They're classics. So, yeah, I find it entertaining, but never change, internet. Never change. I will still enjoy the things that I enjoy, and I will still make lists of things that I enjoy, and people will disagree with those lists, and I know they will. That's the nature of the beast. So at any rate, I hope y'all have a great day. I'm gonna get to work on some hockey videos now for the other channel, because the other channel is, of course, the main channel, but I wanted to talk about this first. I just find it entertaining that my opinion of what I enjoyed, people can look at and go, well, you're wrong, and here's why you're wrong. I'm wrong that I enjoyed it. I'm wrong that I thought it was a good... You can think whatever you want about it, sure. But I'm allowed to think that a movie's a good movie. I'm also allowed to think a movie isn't a good movie. And be okay with that. Meet Cute, that I watched, I talked about that not too long ago. I didn't do a full review for Meet Cute. I didn't feel like it needed a full review, but it was a good movie. It wasn't great. It was a good movie. Kaylee Cuoco in that, I thought, wasn't Penny, and she's a much better actress than she gets credit for. The Flight Attendant's a very good show. I never reviewed that on here either, but I thought, well, this first season was excellent. The second season I thought was entirely unnecessary. But again, that's me, because I did see people who were upset that the show wasn't continuing. And I was thinking, I only got halfway through season 2 and I bailed, so I totally get why they're not going to do a season 3. But people who really enjoyed season 2 wanted a season 3, and that's okay. It's okay to have a difference of opinion. All right. Thank you guys so much for your attention. Thank you guys so much for your time. It's greatly appreciated. Hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. And of course, Abbott's for the Calder Cup champions. So I don't get to wear this t-shirt in videos very much, but yeah. Pretty happy moment for me that I'm gonna just keep, because I never know when I'll have another happy moment when it comes to watching sports. May not happen. All right, thank you guys for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.